The Eastern Cape ANC Chairperson, Mabuyane, has threatened to take legal action against the suspended Secretary-General of the party, Ace Magashule. This after Magashule claimed that money which was stolen from municipalities in the Eastern Cape was directed to Mabuyane. Mabuyane has since denied ever receiving the alleged money in his bank account. He also says the remarks made by the embattled party Secretary-General are malicious, as he has already been cleared by the ANC's Integrity Committee. Let's now speak to Mabuyane's spokesperson, Kaya Sikwecha. Mr. Sikwecha, firstly, thank you for joining us on the program this afternoon. Now, when looking at the charges, or these alleged charges being made by the ANC's Secretary-General, Ace Magashule, they sound quite serious. What was the Premier's initial response to these allegations?
Thank you for having us. Look, the Premier's reaction was that he felt the suspended Secretary General was malicious in the comments that he made, and also he appreciated the fact that the revelations that he made in those comments around his relationship with some of the individuals, including Mr. Bam, that were behind this campaign to damage his reputation, is telling. Because the suspended Secretary General, the SSG, may have revealed that he has been involved in the attempt to damage Mr. Mabuyane's reputation. We know, for instance, that there were elements who were trying to use some opposition parties in the Eastern Cape legislature to prevent Mr. Mabuyane from being sworn in as the Premier, as part of this whole campaign to damage his reputation.
You call this damaging the Premier's reputation, but let's speak about what his response is going to be. What action will he be taking to challenge these allegations?
Because he has never received money from Mr. Bam, and because he has never received money that was stolen or swindled out of any government institution or out of any institution, he's going to take legal action so that Mr. Magashule is held liable for the action that he has caused, for the defamation of his character. So that's the action that is in front of him, and is also going to report this matter to the structures of the ANC to deal with it, because the SSG has done something that is wrong, something that is unethical. You can't make the reckless statements that he has made about the leader of the provincial government or about any other person. So he strongly feels aggrieved by what Mr. Magashule has done.
But I guess the wider question, Mr. Sikwecha, is whether, to what ends would the SG be making such allegations? What is he meaning to achieve here?
Look, what Mr. Mabuyane understands is that all these malicious attempts and campaigns that are being mounted by these individuals who are using different affidavits deposed in police stations in the Eastern Cape, and out of the blue they are investigated by officers in other provinces in Gauteng or Free State, pursuing issues that are non-existent. People that are wasting state resources trying to get him, trying to damage his reputation, because they have been saying all sorts of things about him, making unfounded and baseless accusations against him. And none of those things are true. These are concocted claims and allegations by people who can't even prove them. It worries Mr. Mabuyane that Mr. Magashule says he has his personal bank details. How does a person get into possession of another person's personal account details? He's worried about that, because if you look at the excitement he had, the SSG had, when he was talking on this issue, he even talked about numerous meetings that he had with Mr. Bam, and that worries Mr. Mabuyane, because it shows that he was entertaining this, and he could be part of the people that were behind all these attempts. And the last point is that if he so strongly believes that Mr. Bam's life is in danger, why is he not reporting matter to law enforcement so that law enforcement can look into this thing? And from where Mr. Mabuyane is, He has not done anything wrong. He has not threatened anyone's life. He has not benefited from money stolen. The issue of a loan was paid back to Mr. Madikizela. So it was not an issue. That's why when this came up in 2019, Mr. Mabuyane went to the Indemnity Committee voluntarily and presented himself, and his name was cleared of wrongdoing there.
Now, before I let you go, I want to zoom in a bit into these allegations, or rather these worrying claims that Mr. Mabuyane's bank account details were actually received by the SG. Do you believe, or does the Premier believe, that these were obtained through illegal means?
Yes, because he has not given his personal bank details to the SSG or any other person. There is no other way that a person who is not an investigating officer would excitedly say they've got another person's personal bank details. It's obvious that it could be that he derived or he accessed those illegally, and we don't know what was he doing looking after or looking for Mr. Mabuyane's bank details. Mr. Mabuyane is the Premier of the provincial government, and he continues to root out corruption and maladministration. So that's why he takes exception when the FSG goes out to claim that he is corrupt. What does that attempt to do? I mean, he has not done anything. He has not been found to have done anything wrong, and yet someone wakes up at the top of her head and makes these allegations without substance, without any proof of sorts, you know.
Well, that's the Premier's spokesperson there, Mvusiwe Kaya Sikwecha, speaking there about allegations made by the ANC Secretary General that money funneled from municipal funds has landed in the account of the Eastern Cape Premier, that's Oscar Mabuyane. We will continue to monitor that story.